Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 847. Happy Trash Day. It's Wednesday. My camera's at a different angle. It's kind of throwing me off here. Throwing me off. Gonna be there. We go. That feels a little better. Yum. Very good. Trash is at the curb. It's also recycling week. Both of our trash and recycle was full. In fact, because I missed trash day last week. So I missed jury duty. I missed trash day. I'm a giant shit show. So trash and recycle at the curb. I woke up early. We had some storms roll through. Now, fortunately, we didn't get hit as hard as Western Illinois, Central Illinois did last night and again this morning. But we had from the sounds of it, it was really heavy rainfall or small hail. That's what woke me up, clinking on the windows, a little thunder rolling in. That woke me up a little early this morning. So I'm on time. Even had some time. I was up early, had the coffee brewing. I was waiting for the computer to boot up because that's what we do with shitty computers. And I'm like, I can't ship. So what am I going to do? I need to do something with my time here as I wait the 13 minutes for my computer to boot up. I still have some 2020 Topps update. I think these are retail boxes. I bought these on Black Friday, I think 2 years ago, and I only paid like $25 for them. It was a good deal. But I opened a couple. I've opened a couple. I opened a few packs this morning. That's what I'm going to talk about. I think I still have 3 more sealed. So I'm like, I'm going to open a box. I haven't opened anything in a few weeks. So I'm opening packs, and it's a really good, for what I paid, it was a great deal because there's a lot of like $1.50 cards that I sell on eBay. But it also has Bo Bichette rookie cards. And I'd pulled a Bo Bichette rookie card, and I'm like, you know what? This might be a $2 card, a $3 card. And then I'm looking at the box, and I'm like, are there any guarantees? It'd be nice to pull like a Bo Bichette hit. And I'm thinking that. And I'm actually thinking that as I'm opening these packs. It's 24 packs, 16 cards per pack. Packs with a special insert may only contain 9 to 14 cards. Doesn't say anything about autographs. No. So I'm opening these packs, and I'm like, this is a really good for the value. It'd be a fun rip just for fun. From the redundancy department of redundancy, or whatever the saying is. So I'm opening. There was a card upside down. Guess who it was? It was Bo Bichette. First thing I look for, the gold cards were upside down. I'm like, hey, still a Bo Bichette gold is something. And then I flip it over. No. Oh, it must be like a image variation. I'm going to sneeze, by the way. Excuse me. Those storms must have rolled up the dust. So I pulled this. I'm like, oh, cool. A Bo Bichette image variation. That might be a $3 card. $4 card. So I look it up on eBay. Where's Cooter at? He's going to get on me about my sniffles because I'm probably going to have to blow my nose now after sneezing. It's that time of year, folks. It's that time of year. So I'm looking, and I type in Bo Bichette SP for short print. This card is not showing up. There's another one. And I'm like, could it be? I'm scrolling. I finally found what it was, and it is a super short print Bo Bichette rookie card. So I think there's only one on eBay, at least one that I found. I didn't look too hard once I found what it was, but looks like it could be $100 plus card. So that's pretty good for a Wednesday morning random rip. And even better, what's better than that? A whole stack of Cubs. I think I've only opened like half the box. I still have, that's what's fun about Topps, especially if you get a hit like early on. It's like, what else is in here? I think I've only opened half the box. Yeah, I've only opened half the box. So save that for a rainy day, which is today, apparently. So today I just wanted to talk about some random thoughts that have come through. It actually, two random thoughts. The second thought actually was spurred from the initial thought. So I want to talk about tracking rare cards, and I want to talk about how few people that are buying cards, packs of cards, blaster boxes, how few collectors, active card buyers are on social media. Because I think we live in a bubble. If you're watching this or listening to this right now, or whenever you're listening, we're in a bubble. Like we're in this baseball card, basketball card, football card bubble. And we just assume everybody that collects also is watching YouTube, tweeting, Facebooking, Instagramming, blah, 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 blah. Speaking of Facebook, we are now at 116 members in our Hobby Evolution Facebook page. I was like, I don't think we're going to get to 100. And then we hit 100 yesterday morning and then added like 17 more. I think we were at 99 early yesterday morning. John posted that 100 when we hit 100 just as the show went live, and then added 16 more. So 116 members. The link to the Facebook page is in the description of this video, but we can also throw it in the, since I've got it up right now. That's what she said. We'll just copy and paste that old link. There it is to the Facebook group, 116 members, and we've got some great discussion. John spurred some dropping the eBay store links. We've got 18 comments, people dropping their eBay store links so you can shop amongst people you know. Mark Twitchell with another Hobby Evolution confession. So all kinds of good stuff. Greg says it's a full moon and trash day, a wild combination. Yeah, and it spurred up some nasty weather. Some nasty weather. We got hit by some like rain, but back home, my hometown, got some, I think it missed Anawan again, which is good. Hit the Quad Cities pretty hard. I know Kelowna, which is one of the eastern, it's not part of the quad in Quad Cities. There's actually, I think, 5 now. It used to be Tri-Cities back in the day. They had an NBA team, the Tri-City Blackhawks. And I think one of the charter members of the NFL was also in the Quad Cities, Rock Island. So it's Rock Island. I don't know officially who they like. We just growing up 30 minutes away, we all lumped them in together. But the main ones, Moline, East Moline, Rock Island, Bettendorf, Davenport. And I think I think those 5 might be the official Quad Cities. It's kind of like the Big Ten. We don't know what the hell we don't care about numbers in the Midwest. So Kelowna, which is just on the eastern reaches of the Quad Cities, was hit pretty hard. And then I saw some damage from where I grew up, or I grew up around there, where I lived during my early adulthood. Down in Macomb, that area got hit really hard. I saw some friends posting. One of my friends' parents' farm was like destroyed by a tornado. One of my college professors, her farm was hit really hard by a tornado as well. So I know that Macomb area, like Rushville, Industry, Lewistown, or is it Lewiston? They were hit pretty hard. So thoughts going out to my friends and family and all that. Anybody else who was hit by the storms that hit Illinois again yesterday. Let's go into the chat. What do we got going on? Jenny's here. What's up? Hit the like button and been subscribed for years. Not a coffee drinker. Anything I'm forgetting? Oh, yeah. You forgot John Nolan Drive. Madison Card Show, April 29th, John Nolan Drive. I'm sold out. This is the earliest the Madison Card Show has ever sold out of tables. 125 sold out tables. I turned down 2 dealers yesterday because I don't have any tables available. This is the earliest, and I always tell, like, I've had the lean months. This, like, March was a lean month, which I knew would be a lean month because it was the same weekend as the Spectacular, and I lose like 15 dealers to Chicago, which it's just the way it is. I don't have any other option. So I knew that was going to be a lean month and had some open tables, and I had a couple people like, "Oh, you're always sold out," or I just assumed there was a waiting list. And it's like, so I posted on the Madison Card Show Facebook page, there is no waiting list. Like, it's if you do the show, you're just like grandfathered in. The regulars, they get their spot. Dealers that are basically that are there the month before get, hey, you want to come back if you're a regular. Now the guys like that went to Chicago, I knew that was going to be the case, so they're not going to lose any spots. But it's coming down to where it's like, I don't have any space where you're usually at. But for the most, I think everybody's gonna be able to get where they want to be for April 29th. So sold out show already, earliest that the Madison Card Show has ever sold out. I'm setting up, so I'll have my quarter boxes. It's a 3-show April for me. I'll be set up in Rockford this Saturday, April 8th, the Rockford Card Show. I will have my quarter boxes. I will have penny sleeves. I will have card savers, and I will have top loaders. So I love the Rockford Card Show because I kill it in Rockford. I just do great business with my bargain boxes. It's always been a really good show for me. So I'm looking forward to having a good show again this weekend, Saturday in Rockford, taking next weekend off. And then April 23rd is a Sunday. I'll be in Janesville for the Janesville Card Show. That show for me is a great buying show. I get great deals as a buyer in Janesville. My sales are a little weaker, but the buys, hint, hint, come out to Janesville and get some good deals. So that's my schedule. And of course, April 29th, John Nolan Drive for the Madison Card Show. And guess what next month is? I'm so happy that I can say May is next month. It just feels, it's a long winter, and it just feels like May is so far away. And then when I say next month, even though it's like nearly 2 months away, since we're at April 5th is today, and the Madison Card Show in May is like the 27th, Memorial Day Saturday, which coincides with Brat Fest. So I'm looking forward to the Madison Card Show in May, Brat Fest. I didn't even go to Brat Fest last year, but it's fun to talk about. It's fun to promote. It's a nice little combo. I had a lot of dealers that would set up, and then they went to Brat Fest after the show, get a brat, listen to some music. The music, I will say the lineup is not as strong. Queensryche is not returning. So that's a bummer. But let's see who's Friday on stage at Brat Fest. So this is May 26th. Craig Campbell, I think he's a country guy. Saving Abel. That's somebody. Saving Abel is a rock band that I would go see. Saving Abel is going to be at Brat Fest on Friday, May 26th. If you're into country, Craig Campbell. What are some of his songs? Craig Campbell. All My Friends Drink Beer. Hey, that's a song I could like. What a Girl Will Make You Do. And the raucous Good Things Come to Those Who Drink. Craig likes to talk about sing about drinking. Let's see. His first hit single was the sentimental ballad Family Man. I'm sure, and that was in when? 2011? 2011. Okay, Craig Campbell, Brat Fest next month. Steven Adler of Guns N' Roses will be on stage on Friday night, May 26th, on the main stage. Steve Adler. Frankie Ballard, never heard of him. He's country rock. Let's see. So that's Friday's lineup for Brat Fest next month in Madison. Saturday, that's the day of the Madison Card Show, May 27th. Who do we got? Oh, we've got Slaughter. Who's in this looks like the rock day at Brat Fest. Slaughter. Let's see. Kings of Radio. I've heard of them. Oh, they're an 80s, because they're from here in Madison. They're an 80s cover band. Wayland, they've got some good stuff. Wayland's a rock band. Wayland's going to be there. Madison County, they're a local country band. And Slaughter hits the main stage Saturday night. Come to the Madison Card Show, go across the street, get a brat, listen to Slaughter. And Sunday, we got Kid and Play on the main stage. Kid and Play on the main stage. Tone Loc. Tone Loc's going to be on the grand stage on Sunday night at Brat Fest. And I've got to shout out my buddy Ray. He's a member of the Foo Foo Dolls. They're a 90s alternative rock cover band. They're on stage Sunday at 4:10. Ray and the Foo Foo Dolls at Brat Fest. Next month, Madison Card Show, May 27th, right across the street from Brat Fest. Brian Dean in the house. What's happening? We've got Kyle here. Good morning. Hit that, smash that like button. We're up to 44 viewers, 16 likes. Not too shabby. Terry A, good morning. Tracy's in the house. Rascal 30 is here. Steve Ains Comedy, good morning to you. Donald Davis, good morning. Donald, I think you're from that area that got hit by the storms last night. Hopefully your area was spared, because I think Table Grove got hit pretty hard. Let's see. Todd, good morning. Ed, good morning to you. Johnny Boy Cards is here. We've got John. Perfect timing, because I just booked my hotel for Bo Bichette's Hall of Fame induction weekend. Victor, what's happening? A warm, beautiful 70 degrees in Chicago. Wow. 51. We're going to be in the 60s today. John says, opening old boxes reminds me of checking under the couch cushions. Sometimes it's a penny, but get really excited about finding quarters or the lost remote. Hell yeah. Jenny says, everyone on YouTube isn't on social media either. You have 2.69K subs here and 116 members on Facebook. Isn't that? And just by, and that's a great, and I'll extrapolate even further. I have over 14,000 followers on Twitter. 14,000 followers on Twitter. Under 3,000 subs on YouTube and 116 members on Facebook. Now, I've been on Twitter for 5 years. I've been on YouTube for two and a half. I've been on Facebook for a week. So there is some timing that goes into that as well. It's a lot easier to build an audience on Twitter than it is to build an audience on YouTube. And I find it difficult to build an audience on Facebook also. Because Twitter, you can just follow, and then get the follow backs. And then when you don't get the follow backs, you just go back. That's what I did to build okay, you're not following me. I take back my follow. Facebook, you can't do that. YouTube, you can to an extent. You can start subscribing to just random channels, hoping they sub back to you. Card Hobbyist, good morning. What's happening? Dan is in the house. David is in hot Florida. Not too shabby. Mark Marinello, good morning. Beautiful November morning here in Jersey. I have tickets for the Mets opener tomorrow. Hope it's above 50. No doubt. Let's see. John says, beware of confessions. Let's see. Beware of confessions. Skipped ahead. I was about 10 years into a fantasy football league when we learned the commissioner was a quadriplegic, one member was in a cult, and 4 members were Keatings. Was that the cult? No one needs those kinds of surprises. Harlan, what's happening? TD Sports Cards, good morning. Dan, good morning, or good evening to you. Just won 3 Ichiro cards, hoping for a 4th. John bought several Yaz cards from Facebook group members last night. Hey, see? Hit that Facebook group up. You can find some good deals. So John posted, hey, post your eBay store links so I can go buy Yaz cards from your stores. Paul Heath, good morning. Card Hobbyist, what's up? Was able to get to the Augusta National Golf Course to see Masters practice round yesterday. Very cool. Saw Tiger Woods. It's amazing the size of the crowd that follows that dude around the course, right? Mark says, nothing like sorting 1980 commons, sipping coffee, and watching Hobby Evolution. Love it. My legs and feet are also paying the price for walking that course twice. Michael Renicky, what's happening? John's asking for LRS. Can we get the specifics of the offers you received on the house? The house is sold. I went to the new house yesterday just to see how things were going. We actually had a little hiccup with our second. We've had 2 inspections this week. There was I think there was an HVAC inspection, and then there was a general inspection yesterday. See, I'm learning so much. We built this house, but it was like a cookie cutter, and we weren't allowed in. Well, basically, we didn't own the house until it was like built and then closed. So I guess it makes sense. You don't own the house yet. We do. But this house we bought and we're renovating. So I'm learning like the ins and the outs. Plus, it's like a custom. It's not a cookie cutter where like every other house in the neighborhood is the same design layout. So it's just like, here's the plans. We've built 7,000 of these in the last 5 years. Here you go. So I'm learning about a lot of different things, permits and, what you have to follow. So one thing we ran into was the basement's unfinished. So we're finishing the basement. Obviously, you've followed along, hopefully, the videos that I've been posting, building the ultimate card room. Not much has changed since the last video I released a couple weeks ago. So hopefully in the next couple weeks, we'll have drywall up and I can walk you through the drywalled space. But anyway, we're putting 2 bedrooms in the basement. And one issue we caught before the inspection was the window in one of the bedrooms was too high. And it has to be, your windows you either have to have a step for it to be a legal bedroom in a basement with like the windows and stuff. The window has to be so far off the ground or whatever. So our window was too high in that bedroom. So we had to move it down, move the window down. But yesterday, what we found out was also in a legal bedroom, based on the size of the window, the room has to be a certain, there has to be a ratio of window size to room size. And the room size was a little larger than compliant. It was not compliant because it was larger than whatever dimensions it had to be. So it's like 2 feet. So my wife, this is the difference between my wife and I. My wife is all excited. You get a bigger closet. And I'm like, so what do I care? I'm not going to use it all because my wife uses her entire closet. So my closet is in a separate bedroom. And that's the way it is in this house as well. So, I will use as my closet one of the basement bedrooms, and which is now going to be 2 feet larger than originally planned. So it's the little things like that are big things when it comes down to like inspections that are very important. So little things I'm learning. So we're sucking out the old insulation. And then I think the new insulation, today's Wednesday. So see, hopefully they'll get the new insulation started later this week and go into early next week. And then drywall, hopefully mid next week it started. So should be fun. Let's see. Jenny says to Uncle Rich, you're here just in time. We're talking food and music. Brat Fest. Saving Abel 60% of the original members. I wouldn't even know. A band like that, I wouldn't even know. But I enjoy Saving Abel's music. Let's see. Not to be confused with Sergeant Slaughter. Hey, both epic 80s. Both epic in the 80s. Slaughter and Sergeant Slaughter. So, John, how much of Slaughter's original band? Let's just look that. I'm sure he's already mentioned Slaughter. Is it the original? I just learned also. What the hell band? Static X. Static X is touring. They're going to be in Madison, and I think one of my friends went to see them in Minneapolis. Slaughter. So the original band members. Is there any band? And John, this question is directed to John. Is there any band since, like, let's just say the 20th century. Is there any band from the 20th century playing today that has its original lineup? Like, I don't think that's in bands. Like, I don't think that's like Metallica, Pearl Jam. Like, they're iconic lineups today, but they're not the original. Like the original. The Beatles didn't even have the original lineup. I don't think there's a band in existence ever from start to finish. John's going to correct me. Let's see. TD Sports Cards saw Slaughter in the early 90s. Up all night, sleep all day, Slaughter for life. Sal Dougie, what's happening? Only 60% of the original Tone Loc. Might want to grade that SSP. Bichette looked on 130 point for sales and only a few. Raw 120. A PSA did 294. I don't think this is going to get a high grade. And the reason why, I did top load it. It looked like there was a corner. And remember, I've never graded a modern card, so I have no idea what to look for. But it looks like one of the corners when I took it out looked like it. I mean, it looks sharp. I mean, you're not going to be able to tell on camera here. But I thought there was like just a little. Oh, maybe I was seeing things. Oh, you know what? I think I was seeing things. I think this is what I hate about borders. So the top right corner, yeah, it looks like a smudge or a corner ding. I don't know if you can see that. Top right corner, up above tops. See the corner? It looks like there's a little gray part. That's just part of the crowd, like a grayed out like person in the crowd that just at quick glance looks like it's a damage to the corner, but it's not. It's actually just the image. Maybe I should submit it. I've never graded a modern card. I've submitted 20 cards to SGC, but they're all pre-war. Actually, not all pre-war. I did submit a 1954 Topps Ernie Banks rookie card, so most of them were pre-war. Let's see. Where are we at? Let's see. Rich says, food and music, the real purpose of the daily chat. I remember buying lots of G.I. Joes in order to send in the UPCs for the first Sergeant Slaughter. The day I got it in the mail, I was in heaven. I vaguely remember that because I had a ton of G.I. Joes. I don't know if I ever, and my mom, I probably did have it, and here's why. My mom was an extreme 80s couponer, back the original extreme couponing. Like, she had file cabinets. Now, back then, I think she worked part-time, and like she was like she raised me, a shithead kid. My dad worked, and my mom just kind of stayed at home with her little shithead boy. But I remember like the giant file cabinet filled with coupons. But that was my introduction to baseball cards. Well, I won't say introduction because I remember getting a couple packs in 1988 from the local IGA, but I fell in love with baseball cards from couponing mom, sending in like from Post or General Mills UPCs in order to get a 1989 Topps Chicago Cubs team set. And that's when I started collecting Cubs cards. And I have taken some pauses along the way, but that's what really sucked me in, was mom's ultimate extreme couponing. So I kind of remember having Sergeant Slaughter, but what happened was, this pains me to this day. I had like awesome 80s toys. Now, they wouldn't be worth much today. Now, what freaking kid in the 80s kept their toys in the package? Nobody. That's why they're worth so much today. We played with our toys. I played with my toys. That's what she said. I played with my toys, and I took them. My aunt lived out in this farm, and she had who actually, he's a cousin. I mean, in small town, we're all cousins, right? And so I think he like lived in the next farm over from where my aunt lived. And I would take my toy, and I would take just toys because we would go to my aunt's house and we'd be there, and it's like, it's boring out here. How in the hell is it? See, that's how you can tell I was a townie. I was bored on the farm. So I took my toys out there, and my aunt gave them to my shitty cousin. No, he's actually a cool dude. But he kept my toys. So I don't like all of my 80 toys. I had a He-Man Walkman. Remember the He-Man Walkman? I had one of those. All my G.I. Joes, He-Man figures, and my cousin James, the little shithead, took them, and who knows what happened to them. But I probably had Mom's Extreme Couponing probably got me the Sergeant Slaughter. 62 degrees with rain in Korea. Jenny says, I remember when we were trying to get you to 5K on Twitter. Oh, yeah. Those were the days. Now I'm trying to get to 5K on YouTube, and I just like completely stopped trying. I even wrote it down. I'm going to do more shorts. Shorts I lost ambition on doing YouTube shorts because they just weren't. I'm like, oh, this will get a ton of views. And it's like they get less views than my Hobby Evolution long form content. It's like, well, nobody wants to see my shorts. That's what she said. And more eBay specific short videos. And I just do this. This is easy. I pop on, I talk, and then I shut it down and I do it again tomorrow. It's just easier that way. So Twins opener tomorrow delayed, going to be 30 degrees. Not sure why they wanted this outdoor stadium in Minnesota. Any new stadium that's being built in the Midwest, upper Midwest, like why? Without a dome, why? Let's see. John says, you learned about inspections prior to drywall. Once you see drywall going up, you're headed to the finish line. Exactly. And we're not to the drywall stage yet. I think we actually have one more inspection before we get to the drywall phase. David says, go Rays, last undefeated team. The new insulation is going to be yellow. 1990 Fleer baseball commons going to use. Rich corrects Jenny, 91 Fleer. 90 was white, 91 yellow. Rich asked Ryan, then the Twins GM at a Sabre convention, why no retractable roof? Because it gets cold in Minnesota in October, November, and March and April. Let's see. John says, you too. Okay, there you go. There's an answer. Let's see. Rich says he was not happy at that question. The replacements. Okay, John's naming off bands with original lineups. Pearl Jam went back to the original drummer for a bit, so kinda. Let's see. Where are we at? It makes no sense with the stadium. The U.S. Bank did those big doors, windows. They can open when warm, but at least close for the cold months. Rammstein, du hast. I meant to say the Proclaimers. Let's see. You should bring the bow to the Madison Card Show on April 29th on John Nolan Drive for 5-star cards to see if you should submit, and they can submit it right there for you. I could do that. He doesn't like to look at cards. He doesn't like to inspect cards, though, at the shows because he has, like, the special lighting. So his office, like, to really get a good idea, you have to go to his office or, like, just give them the card so he can take it to the office. Because the lighting, I slept on my neck around or something. Oh, got a kink in my neck. Because he just needs to get, like, up close and really personal with those cards. John says, Slaughter currently operating at 75% original ingredients. I knew Slaughter couldn't be at 100%. I knew Slaughter couldn't be. There's got to be like an OD or something along the way for a band like Slaughter. Rascal says, grats to the Minnesota Peanuts. From what I've seen, your fantasy team is likely the biggest comeback team of the week from where you were day 1 and 2. My team, the Boomers, have quit, I think. My fantasy team is off to a decent start, but it's only week 1, and it's only Wednesday. What happened last year, I was like cruising, in my fantasy matchup. And like, even though I had like, and we're head to head, so we have in the categories. So it's right now out of the 12 categories, I'm winning 8-4. But I have a pretty big lead in some of those categories. Like home runs, I'm up 8-3. RBI, I'm up 35-22. OPS, I'm up 822 to 760. Strikeouts, I'm up 62 to 49. I've used 8 starting pitchers. My opponents used 9. I'm up 5-3 in the save hold category. So I've got a pretty comfortable. Well, it's not even Wednesday yet. So as far as games go, so there's still Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. There's still 5 full days. So I can't get too excited about my first matchup. But I do kind of like my team. I kind of like my team because I feel like I have balance where I didn't. Some of my strategies in years past with fantasy baseball has been like, I need a home run guy. I need a stolen base guy. And just try to, instead of having balance where I've got a guy that can hit 30 home runs and steal 20 bases, as opposed to this guy will hit 40 home runs but steal 0 bases, and this guy will steal 20 bases but hit 0 home runs. So I'm trying to find a nice balance. And I think I built a roster that kind of suits that strategy. So we will see based on projections and historical numbers I have. But that goes out the window once the games get started. So we'll see. John says 20 cards submitted to SGC, 19 of them returned. Actually, no. 14 of them. No, I actually, now that I think about it, I've submitted more than 20. All but 6 have been returned. They're lost. Grover Cleveland, Alexander, or not Grover Cleveland. Three Fingers Brown, first card lost. T207 Joe Tinker lost. Tip Top Bread Johnny Schmitz lost. Then there were a couple others that it's like I can replace those. Those 3 are going to be tough to replace. The other 3 I can replace. So we'll see. It's going through insurance right now. And we know how fast that process can be. Let's see. Brian says RATM are still playing. Oh, Rage Against the Machine still playing after they got back together. New Edition still touring also. There's a couple more. Herman, what's happening? Good morning to you. John says Funko Pops will be worthless in 20 years as no one is taking them out of the packaging. That's a great point. That's a great point. Let's see. Wasn't Funko the company that just started? They pulled the 1952 Topps baseball, just dumped them in the river. They had so much inventory supply that they just started throwing them away. Raphael in the house, what's happening? Straight Execution says almost every platform has stopped paying for shorts. Let's see. Todd says, wish I still had my 1970s Star Wars toys. Probably mom sold them in the same yard sale she sold a bunch of my cards. And that's, I think the toys that James didn't get, that I took to my aunt's farmhouse, were sold in yard sales. Yeah, sold in garage sales. So I think the only thing my mom, toy-wise, that was kept was my Matchbox cars and some of those like those handheld video game, like Paperboy from the early 90s. Everything else, yard sales. Mark says, still have my Star Trek and Planet of the Apes toys from the mid 70s. Let's see. Low Roller says, Funko is the new Beanie Babies. That's something I can agree on. Absolutely. I think Funko's the new Beanie Baby. Travis, what's happening? Add some of that Cubs blue to the 91 Fleer baseball and you'll get 91 Fleer football. There you go. Yellow and blue make green. Minneapolis Kid just found a Goldschmidt Chrome buyback card. Ooh, a week too late. John says, I loved Planet of the Apes toys. I remember getting the Treehouse, probably best Christmas ever. Jenny says, my Peanuts team was doing super rough and then started showing up finally. Let's see. Check all the score, fantasy baseball on ESPN. John says, everyone will forget they have a fantasy team baseball by June 1st. Not me. We are highly competitive and it's a keeper league, so there's money on the line. So with money and the keeper aspect, it keeps me. Now that I've played a keeper league, a competitive keeper league, like doing a for fun or a non-keeper has no interest to me. Like, what's the point? What's the point? Let's see. T206 kit. But we do have a Hobby Evolution Fantasy Baseball league going. I will be down to play Hobby Evolution Fantasy Football because I'm not in any fantasy football leagues. I didn't play last year. And I suck at fantasy football. So I'm in for Hobby Evolution Fantasy Football. Let's see. T206 kid, I would be sick to my stomach sending in pre-war cards to get graded. Either keep them rare or buy them graded at the start. It doesn't bother me. I don't know. I don't have like the Three Fingers Brown. That one hurts. But most of what I've sent in are, I mean, there's been some rare stuff that I've sent in that if it was lost, I would also be sick to my stomach. But I just don't have any sentimentality to most of my collection. Like, now that's saying with insurance involved, because I know if it gets lost, I'll get money. Can I replace, like, can I just go out? Can I use that money and go out and find another Three Fingers Brown first card? No. There's none on eBay. I'd have to go to an auction house and maybe it's a 2 or a 3, which is worth more than my 1. So it's not easy. But to me, it's like, I lost it. I got my money back. I'll go about my day. I don't really have any sentimentality toward cards. If like a fire or a flood or something took my cards, and they were not insured, or they were stolen, then I would be sick to my stomach. But sending them in to get graded, I mean, it's unfortunately unfortunately for me, it's like I'm the, 5% of the submissions are going to get lost. And unfortunately, one of my submissions was part of that 5% that get lost. My group subber said this is the first time out of thousands of subs that he's ever had a package get lost. And it's like, yeah, but it was my package. So it upsets me. So it's rare. It does happen. But it is rare. And yeah, I just don't have much sentimentality when it comes to there are certain cards, especially if they were gifts, then it's sentimental. But if it's just a card like the Three Fingers Brown, I bought on eBay. The T207 I bought at a card show. It's like it was completely transactional. There was no emotion attached. That's funny, talking earlier about the house, now about cards. That's also how I see this house. My one of my mom's friends was over on Saturday when I was visiting, and she asked, do you care who moves into your new house? I said, no, not one bit. I didn't even think of that. The only thing I care about is if their money is good. They can come in and trash the house. They can come in and bulldoze. I don't think they can, HOA and all that, but they could tear it down. I don't care. I'm, moving on. There's no sentimentality to this house. Like, will I think fondly of the card room and this backdrop? Yeah, probably. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's just a house. And I think some of that sentimentality in terms of homes is, especially if you have kids, like maybe the doorway over here, you've got little Johnny, and here he is at 3 feet tall and 4 feet tall and 5 feet tall. And like 1987, here's Johnny, 1987, and you have all of the family gatherings and the holidays, and there's probably a lot of sentimentality. My wife and I we don't have kids. We don't really have family over. I mean, my mom visits, her mom will visit every once in a while, but it's just not, it's just, just kind of a house. It's transactional. I don't care who moves in. They can do whatever they want. And that's kind of how I feel about my cards. It's like, it's just a card. I can replace it. Most of them I can replace. Three Fingers Brown, I can't replace. I mean, I can, but it's going to cost me more than the insurance covers, or because it's a higher grade. I mean, it covers my cost. But anyway, it's kind of transactional. Where are we at? Let's see. Oh, I saw a tweet that, yes, I do want to touch on that. I'm glad I called it random thoughts, because the thoughts that I actually thought about, I haven't even touched on, and I probably won't. So it'll just be a cliffhanger. Boomba Sports Cards in the house. What's happening? Jenny says, we need the toy creators to make toys your mom threw out. You know, they do make and you have to be careful if you want to buy like original toys from the 80s. You have to be careful because they've made a lot of those toys again. And they're replicas. Replica G.I. Joes, replica. I saw when I was at one of the antique malls over the weekend. There was something I can't even remember what it was, and I'm like, ooh, this is cool. And it was made in like 2018. So they just don't label them cards or toys your mom threw out. They just remake them. Low Roller says they have pens inside Funko Pops. Pens was fad toys in the 80s and 90s. Straight Execution. Have we talked about Sharma's tweet that Topps will make NBA cards again soon? Yes. So Shams, what the hell is his name? I saw that. Actually, I retweeted that last night. So I'll just go to my page and find it. Retweet. Shams Charania. Fun Development Fanatics is launching basketball cards under its Topps brand beginning with the 2023-24 NBA season, industry sources say. And by the way, Shams Charania is NBA insider for The Athletic and Stadium. So he's a legit blue check mark. He's not just buying it. 2 million followers. He's from The Athletic. He's like an NBA insider. So it's legit. So next year we'll see Topps basketball cards. That's pretty cool. I'm excited. Even though I don't collect basketball cards, I think it's cool to have Topps basketball cards again. So yeah, we'll see. I'm not sure if there's any basketball collectors. I'm just not a big Panini fan. There are certain Panini cards. Same with Leaf. I just bought a Christian Hernandez Leaf auto numbered out of 2. It's an awesome card. And some of the Panini cards, like Donruss Baseball, there's like an Anthony Rizzo where it's like, this is a terrible card. It looks awful. And there's a lot of those, but there's a lot of really cool cards, even without logos. But for the most part, like Panini Prism, I'd much rather have Topps Chrome than Panini Prism. I'm also not a basketball collector, so my opinion means nothing. Well, my opinion doesn't mean shit anyway, but as a non-buyer of the products, but I'll go out and buy Topps basketball cards. If they're priced okay, but basketball's been retail. I guess football and basketball has been priced okay. But I'll buy retail basketball Topps cards just because it's new. It's the new thing. It's going to be a huge hit. We'll see how it sticks around. So will this be the resurgence in the basketball card market? That's probably the bigger question I have. For me, because the basketball card market is super soft, at least from my own, what I see within my own sales on eBay and with what I see selling 25-cent cards at card shows. My basketball cards rarely get to, I've got a couple people that will dig through the basketball quarter boxes. Every once in a while, I'll have somebody ask if I don't bring them. But for the most part, like if I take equal amount basketball, football, baseball, the last show I set up, Madison, last month in March, a couple of weeks ago. This was like actually it was about half an hour before the show started. I had 6 tables total. I took up a whole wall, and the first 2 it was basically, was it 2, and 2. Yeah, I had 2 tables of baseball. I had 2 tables of football, and then I had 2 tables that was basketball / hockey / soccer, non-sports. So I had 2 tables of baseball. At 9 o'clock when the show starts, every single, like, you could not, there was not room for another person to get in and look at baseball cards. The 2 tables of baseball cards were completely filled with people. There was not a single person from those boxes on at that one snapshot in time. Nobody was looking at football. Nobody, was looking at basketball. Nobody was looking at the other stuff. Baseball. That's March. Baseball's hot. Maybe that changes in October, November when NBA season starts again. Who knows? I'm curious. Will this be a resurgence of the basketball card market? We saw a boom in basketball before the pandemic. And then we saw the quick decline in the pandemic. Like the basketball market started getting soft in the summer of 2021. The National in Chicago, I loaded up on cheap slabs of basketball, thinking the basketball card market is soft. And this is July, end of July into August. In another month or two, once the season is underway, I'm going to feast. And guess what? I starved because it stayed soft. And when it was all said and done, I probably broke even on that big purchase. But it took me over a year. It took me about a year. Let's see, 2021, 22. Yeah, because I think I sold the last of the slabs this last summer. So it took about a year to, was that 20? Yeah, that was 2021, 22. Yeah. So it took a year to break even on those basketball slabs. So it'll be interesting. Will Topps back in the basketball card, NBA card market, will that lead to a resurgence in basketball cards? Let's see. Most modern sports cards will become worthless in the future. It's kind of a hot take. How about old school He-Man toys? Yes. Are we doing fantasy hockey this year? No. Somebody can. Let's see. That was a ding for the Hobby Evolution Facebook group. By the way, the link is in the chat. Link is also in the description. We're up to 116 members in the Hobby Evolution Facebook page. So go check that out and join. While we're talking about toys from our youth, I still have my Coleco baseball and football games as well. Drove my dad crazy on long car rides. I was texting back and forth in my text group with some of my high school friends, and one of them had lost. They were in the area that was hit by the storms yesterday. They were without power. And I'm like, what would we do? Like, how did we survive power outages as kids without cell phone, without smartphones? Like, you couldn't watch TV. You had to read like a book in the dark or light a candle. Like, Jesus, it's like the dark ages. But yeah, like, what did we do on those long car rides? We played Coleco. Yeah, I had a football game. I had a basketball game. I had Paperboy. Those were fun. I don't think they'd be as fun now. I want to get my phone out and tweet stuff. Watch YouTube videos. Basement card collector, what's happening? Good morning. Where are we at? Let's see. Rascal says Fanatics has player rights for NBA. Panini still has team rights. Fanatics might put out player cards without team logo like Panini does with baseball. Hopefully not for Chrome return. That's what it was. There's like a 1 or 2 year difference where it's now a player's deal. And I can't remember when the Fanatics deal starts with the actual league. Fanatics NBA. So the this is the Athletic. So hopefully I'm signed in. Otherwise, I'm going to get blocked until I log in. Oh, looks like so Panini has held the the new Fanatics when their deal expires in 2025. So is that let's see. Oh, here's Sports Pro Media. So it looks like it expires in 2026 for the league. Let's see. Yep, runs until 2026. So they'll have player cards, but you won't have the logos. Let's see. Low Roller says, if your house got burned with your sports cards, I bet you care about your cards since you sell. Well, yes, of course I would care. Of course I would care. Rich says, simple rule, cards are replaceable, people are not. Exactly. Would I be sick to my stomach? Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. Thanks and sorry if those comments aren't allowed. Which comments? How about old school He-Man toys? That's the only comment I see. Let's see. He will lose 1 million Cubs cards when his card burned down. Yeah. Let's see. James, what's up? Topps X Fractors will look awesome. Absolutely. Straight Execution says, I agree. Never could fully approve of Panini and hope the Topps name makes it more stable in a fun market collector's base. Absolutely. Mark Hoyle in the house. What's happening? Let's see. Basement card collector. I want a $25 gift card on eBay. It will be my first time buying a card online. Really? Wow. Thought I would shop on your store and Jenny's store. Awesome. That is excellent. Let's see. Jenny says $25 will go a long way in both stores. Absolutely. Zach in the house. What's happening? Curious how you ship your $1.50 or low dollar cards, eBay standard envelope. Yes. So, basically, here's what I do. I've got some Jordan Walker. By the way, Jordan Walker, I cannot keep Jordan Walkers in my store. So penny sleeve, Jordan Walker. I use Card Saver ones. So I put Jordan Walker in the Card Saver one, and then I put a piece of copy paper, and I do the old trifold. I use regular number 10 envelopes, very few issues. I've probably had more damage issues with bubble mailers than I have with plain white envelopes. That's it. That's how I package all of my low dollar cards in standard envelopes. So yes, I use the eBay standard envelope shipping on eBay. Let's see. Jenny says, welcome to the new addiction of online card shopping. I know. And once you like pull that Band-Aid off, it's like, it's on. Like I'll go shopping now. It's like I've started buying cards and like I'll get a mail day and all of a sudden it's like, ooh, what else can I buy? Todd says lots of good deals with both Bo and Jenny stores. Thank you, Todd. Note on those Card Saver ones, you got to use the envelopes Bo uses for length to not get postage due. If you put a Card Saver one in a short envelope, it will get postage due. Most likely your PO could be different. I use number 10 envelopes, the long ones. I do not like the short envelopes. It seems like there's more issues with the short envelopes as opposed to the long envelopes. I know there's issues with both at times, but that can be the case. Zach says, my post office refuses to allow me to ship below 84 cents with eBay standard envelope. Pretty frustrating. Here's my advice. Go to a different post office, or here's one way to avoid that. Are you taking them to the counter? Do not take them to the counter. Just drop them off in a drop box. If they get refused in a drop box, take them to another drop box. So that would be my advice, because my post office is very similar. In fact, I was sending out thousands with no issue. But I was either using the drop box or my mailbox outside my house. So one day I decided to drop them all off at my post office. And I just used the drop box within the post office. And the next day I had a big stack of envelopes with a rubber band, with a Post-it note, non-machinable, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, so I took the Post-it note, I threw it away. I took off the rubber band, threw it away. I drove to a drop box, a blue box, and I put all of the envelopes in the blue drop box, and they were all delivered without any issue. So it's completely on your local post office, and they're just being dicks. We don't like people that are dicks. So take it to a different post office, or first use a drop box. Don't talk to the clerks, especially if they're refusing your mail. Let's see. So that's probably let's see. Or yeah, Jenny has some follow-ups. How do you ship yours top loaders? Top loaders can cause issue because they're more rigid. Don't use cardboard. Just they've got to be, flexible, which I know sounds like you don't want them to be, but to use standard envelope, they have to be. Let's see. Where are we at? Eric says, I like using armalopes to ship cards. Never any issues. Armalopes are okay, but they're expensive. And again, with armalopes, you can run into, they can be rigid, and there could be issues. Now, there can be issues with the way I do it. It's just, if you get a clerk on a bad day, shit happens. But armalopes are expensive. If you're shipping like higher dollar cards, and envelopes is good. I mean, I would rather just use a regular number 10 envelope, and then if I want it like well protected, it's going to go in a bubble mailer or a box. Envelopes for standard envelope to me is just, you're paying what, 25 cents at least for an envelope, where you can get number 10s for 2 to 3 cents. So that's why I prefer the number 10s. Basement Card Collector says, I get on there later this week. We're on spring break in sunny Florida. Enjoy. Zach's going to experiment. Brian says, I use short envelopes, but it's only a card or two, never 7 cards. Card Saver 1 folded in full sheet, rolled up on the sides for uniformity. No problems ever. Print label right on the envelope to save label weight. There you go. Yeah, if it works for you, great. Let's see. We're not doing fantasy. I'm not doing fantasy. You can do. Low Roller Scratcher he is volunteering to be the commissioner of the Fantasy Hockey League. So good luck. Rich says, my favorite clerk story, last year when I sent a check to the IRS, the clerk said never do return receipt certified, except for where you were sending that letter to. Aha. James says, use cardstock. Jenny says a PWE has to be less than 80% rigid to be considered non-machine. That's how Bo can send Card Saver 1s in a long envelope. Baseball card curmudgeon, what is up? And top loaders, it's the sudden change in thickness. They will pin those. They can get caught in the machines. Yeah, and I've had, I've had them when I used to ship in top. I was like team top loader up until about a year ago, and I had a couple issues where you could tell where it got jammed up. Fortunately, there was no damage to the card, but it jammed up the machine, and it looked like it was, manhandled. So that can happen. The thing is, there's no foolproof way. I have a card right here. So this card, and this was like a $75 transaction. So this, and I've actually sold, even with the giant creases, I've sold the other 2 cards. So I sold a Khalil Watson action. You can't really see, but there's a giant crease right here. It was in a card saver. Well, there were 3 cards in 3 different card savers. So it was like this. Do I have the card saver? I thought I kept the card saver just to show and tell. So I had a Khalil Watson action variation, Khalil Watson auto numbered out of 50, and a Jordan Lawler auto from Heritage Miners. And I put them each in a card saver. Then I used the card saver cardboard on each side. So it was sandwiched. So there's 3 card savers sandwiched by cardboard inside a bubble mailer. So that's how well protected it was. And do I have an old card saver? Basically, it looked, when the buyer received it, it looked like somebody took the card savers all, in the cardboard and just did that to them. And it was in 3 card savers sandwiched between 2 pieces of cardboard in 2 different bubble mailers, and they were still creased, big time creased. So I ended up selling the auto number to 50 was originally like a $40 card. I ended up selling it for 12, so I was happy, even because the person, opened the claim, and it's like, well, send a return because I can still resell these as just damaged goods. Just make sure creased is in the title and show pictures of the crease. So I think the $40 card was I think it was 40, 20, and 10. Yeah, that's 70. So it might have been 40, 25. I think the Lawler sold for 25. So it might have been like $40, 25, and 10 for the action. So the $40 card creased went for 12. The Lawler auto, I think I sold for 5. And the Watson is still in my eBay store for $5 with that crease. So, but I was still able to get some of my money, recoup some of the money. But, $75 sale turned into a $17 sale. Let's see. You are correct on no foolproof way. Yeah, Herman with the Freeman and a 1-touch. Yeah. And that's what I say. If it's a $100 card, and typically it's like 150 or over, I'll ship in a box in a bubble mailer. So I'll just take like a 200 count box and a 200 count box, put it in a bubble mailer. And that way, that's the best way to do it. Can a box get crushed? Absolutely. It could get lost. Bubble mailers and boxes get lost too. So there's no guaranteed way to safely ship cards. There's just not. So strange things can happen. James says conveyor belt ate it. Yeah, I think it just got completely it did get completely ravaged. Anthony, what's happening? Good morning. Been watching you and your amazing progress for 2 years. Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate that. Let's see. Low roll. If he's not reading it, take the hint. Take the hint, low roller. So that's what I had for today. None of what we talked about today was what I had written down to talk about. Where did I put? So maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow. Anything over $100 I ship for free in a small flat rate box. That's a good way to go. Let's see. Cooter says bubble mailers are combined with packages by USPS, so they are at risk of getting damaged by large boxes. That's a great point. Like I said, I've had more, and I ship, 85% in white envelopes, 15% in bubble mailers, or 14% in bubble mailers, 1% in boxes. And I've had more damages in bubble mailers than I have in plain white envelopes. So if it's a valuable card, I ship in a box. Brian says, anyone use the risers and catch bin for the 8170? I do. I love it. Laxus Innovations, Last Kiss. I have his information somewhere around here. I believe it's LASKIS. Brian's ordering one now. Dude, I love it. It's a great machine. I don't use the bin that has 100, but I do use the risers. It looks so clean. Instead of having like a box like this, catching cards sitting on top of a BCW box, it looks so much cleaner. Let's see. Jenny says, great point, Cooter. And now with USPS doing Amazon, they're getting way more boxes. Think about your bills, letters, etc. Never get any of those creased. That's a good point. Yeah. How come we lose plain white envelopes, but we don't lose bills? Although that's probably where we don't want to lose bills, because then whoever we're paying says we didn't pay our bill. Maybe we don't want our bills to get lost. Terry says, I have the risers and bin, works great. Let's see. Yes, ComC is launching their own app. Red Light 34, late but made it. Good morning to you. Just about to wrap it up. Hobby Evolution Facebook page. Hit it up. We're up to 116 members. Link is in the description. Link is also in this chat. My eBay store link is in the description. Buy 7 or more at regular price. Take 25%, receive 25% automatically at checkout. Anthony wants to know, can you tell me about your experience using the Fujitsu SV600 to scan multiple cards at once? Yes, I can. So the SV600 is the overhead scanner. It's a great scanner if you're scanning like slabs. I don't scan slabs, so my SV600 is in a box, being unused because it's not a scanner. If you want to scan multiple cards, I guess if you want to scan multiple cards and don't want to use a feed scanner, that's the way to go. But if you're looking for multiple cards, I would suggest the feed scanner, as long as they're like under $20 cards. You don't want to send $20 and up cards in a plain white envelope just because of the numbers game. Here we are, we're saying, yes, I've had more damage in a bubble mailer than a plain white envelope, but I've had a lot more lost plain white envelopes than lost bubble mailers. It's also a numbers game. Brian says SV600 was making my slabs distorted. Need to call them. Yeah, I didn't have. Now my usage is very limited on the SV600. I used it for a few days just to play around with it, and for what I scan and for what I need it for, I thought I would use it more with like the Chrome cards. But I ended up finding a way to I'm able to scan the Chrome cards okay. Not as fast as like a 85 tops card, but faster than what the SV600 can do. But if you're scanning slabs, SV600 is the way to go. Let's see. We're scanning Chrome. I can scan on my 8170. I've been able to scan Chrome. Okay. The only hiccup is it scans it and it thinks it's scanning multiple items. So it doesn't feed it through. So what happens is a pop-up message will come through and you just hit OK. So it takes a little longer to scan Chrome cards, but it scans them and it scans them well. So I've been scanning some Chrome cards now. It just kind of depends on what I'm scanning. I still haven't, if they're curled, like the Bowman U Chrome. Do I have any around? Some of the Bowman Chrome U. Oh, I see. This has got to be like this. This is a Bowman Chrome U. Look at that. Compared to. And I just opened the Bowman Chrome U about a month ago. They're curling really bad. So those you can't scan. Even like older, like sometimes even like junk wax era or 70s cards in a box, they'll curl. And those do not scan well in a feed scanner either. Let's see. Anthony says, what is the best scanner that does not put lines on glossy cards? I keep having issues with multiple Fujitsu products. The 7130, 7160 just destroyed a Ken Griffey rookie. How did you destroy a Ken Griffey rookie? I'm not sure how those scanners are destroying. I have not had any damaged cards on it. And I've scanned 20,000 plus cards. None have been damaged. Actually, I take that back. One was damaged, but it was my own fault because I didn't have my bin in the right place, and cards got built up and it scanned too many, and one ended up, it was $1.50 card. So guess what? I threw it away. But I haven't had any damage, even on like Chrome cards. I haven't had any scratches or anything. So I'm not sure what you're doing that's getting damage on those cards. Let's see. Are you putting only 10 or so in at a time? Putting too many at once will get caught up. Yeah, I'd be curious in how it's damaging, especially a card like a Ken Griffey Jr. rookie where there's no gloss to it. So that's what I had for today. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Facebook page. is up. We're at 116 members. Join the group. We've got some great discussion going on. We're sharing our eBay stores. We're showing our latest pickups. Like let's see, was it Tracy? Tracy picked up a nice George Brett card. Check that out. So check out the Facebook page, Hobby Evolution. Link is in the description and in the chat. So check that out. eBay store link is in the description as well. Added about 500 more cards. Yesterday, I'm over 35,000 cards in the eBay store. There were lines barely visible going vertically. Now, were there lines before you put in? Did you inspect them before putting them in? And yeah, Jenny brings up a good point. You also need to clean the scanner because dust particles can get in there. Any modern stuff, like I wonder if I have like any modern chrome. Let's open a box. I've got Overtime Elite Topps Chrome. I don't have a magnifying glass, but I probably don't need one. Victor, what's happening? But modern chrome cards, especially the Bowman lately, has just been terrible with scratches and lines, print lines. So he is cleaning, so that's good. Are you just to be sure, are you checking the cards before you put them in the scanner? Because I don't. So I'm just going to take this first card. I don't need to open the rest of them. We'll put those in my unopened wax pile. So let's see. And again, I don't know what I'm looking for. This actually looks like a pretty clean chrome card. Matt Bewley. Oh, nope, there's a print line. If I put it in the light, there's a print line going up and down. Probably can't even see it. It's between the Topps Chrome logo and the guy's hair. You probably can't see it. I'm sure you can't see it. But it's and when you're scanning it, it's probably going to show because it's going to get such an up close photo of the picture. This one right here, there's a scratch or a line right at the bottom. Again, you probably can't see it on this camera, but it's right there. There's a little ding there. Oh, the edges. So I mean, every chrome card, there's so many print lines. This is a refractor. If I look at it long enough, I'll find it. But otherwise, like, I don't inspect the cards very much. So, but yeah, I haven't had any issues with any print lines, damages, anything like that. Let's see. Joe says I had the same line on the cards. Cleaning it did the trick. There you go. Excellent. So that's what I had for today. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, jump on the Facebook page, hit my eBay store. Have a great day, and we'll be back at it tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central. We'll see you then.